As he sends in the cross, that's the first goal from Fabio Gama. Right place, right time. Deadlock is broken. We are in for a game.
Before we begin this video, please subscribe right now and click the notification bell to get news on Asante Kotoko. What's up, good people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Daily Porcupine, the ultimate Kotoko fan channel. If you're new here, you know what to do. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. My name is Clinton Eleto. I'm your host for today. Today we'll be reviewing the season because we know how the season ended in a very disappointing manner, and I'm very ashamed to be a Kotoko fan right now because after the House of Oak game, it's as if everything just dwindled drastically. Like it's just amazing how will I put it? The form dropped, everything just squandered. We just played the game as if nothing was at stake. I don't know who gave them mentality that after the House of Oak game, our season is over. That is the problem. I keep telling you guys that the problem with Kotoko players is that they care about what radio stations, what the local news and what people say about them rather than focusing on what is on the pitch. That is the mentality. Once we get that mentality out of any player or any person that comes to Kotoko, once we get that mentality, what will people say, what will people talk about, if I do this, what will people say? If we get that mentality out of the club, Kotoko club, we are going to go far. We are even going to do well in Africa. You know, players will go out and perform and say, after all, it's only radio stations will talk about it 2 days and 3 days, then we'll forget about it. No, that's not the mentality. You are here to play for the fans. You are not here to play for the radio stations. So after the radio stations, you know, Kotoko, we have a lot of enemies. You can see in the past few days, they are trying to dig up that, and the CEO of the club in general, trying to look for blame, paint anyone as a bad person, the reason why this happened, the reason why that happened. We'll talk about that maybe in another video, but I think this season we started pretty okay, then we got bad. That's under Maxwell Konedu. Kwame Poku played very well. He was the only one scoring the goals for us, and at a point I felt that 1-0, 1-0 would do, but we start losing to small teams. We start, you know, sharing points with small teams. Those kind of things spoils momentum, and that was why Maxwell Konedo was sacked. Johnson Smith came in and he played pretty okay. I think he did pretty okay. It was difficult to beat Johnson Smith, but he's definitely going to make it very difficult for you to, you know, enjoy the game, because his own aim is to get the results. Fans might not enjoy the game, but his own aim was to get the results. Then we hired Mariano Barreto. He came in, we started scoring goals and started scoring goals. We started conceding too, but at first it wasn't that much because we are not worried about the defense. Then at a point it got very bad. We started conceding in every game. We could have recorded a very good defensive record if we had kept the defensive momentum going, but we just slacked, and anybody can score us. Even the FA Cup, the Division 1, the Division 2 clubs were scoring us, and it was embarrassing. It's not that we changed keepers, it's our defense, our goalkeepers, our top goalkeepers, they kept conceding, and that's one of the main reasons we fell short this season, because we couldn't, you know, stop opponents from scoring. Then we got to the House of Oak game. Before the House of Oak game, I told fans that whatever happens in this game, it doesn't mean that we have won the league or we have lost the league. We can actually lose this game. You understand what I mean? We can actually lose this game and win our next games and win the Ghana Premier League, and we can also win this game and lose our remaining games. That's what I told people that asked me about that game, because I felt that they are putting too much importance in that game. I know it's a classic game, everyone should anticipate, everyone should hype the game. That is only one game. Don't forget about the rest. They are all 3 points. The score has 50-0, the score has 300-0. It's 3 points. If you win that game and lose the rest game, it doesn't make sense. So that is the importance people put on that House of Oak game, and that is why the pressure came on Kotoko, and they couldn't handle the fact that House of Oak have mastered playing at the Accra Sports Stadium. They have played majority of the games at the Accra Sports Stadium. They are favourites to perform well at the Accra Sports Stadium. So when the defeat came, it wasn't a surprise. It wasn't me. I wasn't surprised at all, because I felt that House of Oak with favourites to win. The highest Kotoko can get from that game is a draw. To be a miracle for Kotoko to beat House of Oak at the Accra Sports Stadium. That is what I thought. But I felt that we had the courage, the momentum, if the coach, and that is why we have to give blame to Mariano Barreto because he didn't motivate the boys enough after the House of All game. He was taking blame. He was looking for who to blame. Augustine Okra could have scored that goal. Yes, he could have scored, but it was up to the coach to motivate the boys to, build momentum going up to the next games. Mariano Barreto should be blamed for the drop of form from the players. I know radio stations, TV stations, local news, they are also to be blamed for the drop of form because they try to heap the blame, try to blame any player, try to look for faults, try to disorganize the team after the Hearts of Oak defeat. But I think it was up to Mariano Barreto to tell the boys, look, this is just one game. We have 3-4 games to remain to go. That is why I feel Emmanuel Jimfi is not influential enough to be the captain of the club. He's not influential enough. A good captain would rally the boys, tell them that, see, we have few games to go. We should stay off social media. We should stay off radio stations. We should not try to let the news get to us and this and that, and try to motivate them to finish strong. But we started playing nonsense, messing up, and we got to the FA Cup. The City Bergamo Chelsea match, we had about 3-4 chances to score, including the penalty Fabio Gama missed. That talked about the atmosphere in the club. We talked about the morale, the momentum, how the club, the players, they showed no chemistry, and that is something that you should be very, very worried about, because right now people are looking for who to blame. Mariano Barreto is, reports are saying that he might leave at the end of the season. So I think it's just annoying that we are dealing with things like this when we should be preparing for next season. But I think this season was a very, very bad season. It was a disappointment. Fans were worried after that House of Oak defeat, but it was a disaster. This season was a disaster. Me, I can't tell you how disappointed I was after the Bergamo Chelsea in the FA Cup. We blew our chance to play in Africa. We had it at Bergamo Chelsea. It was easy. You had 3-4 clear chances to score, but you couldn't. Emmanuel Jimfi, the decision making, other players, they couldn't. It was just, it was infuriating to watch. It was very difficult to watch. So I feel this season we should forget about it, and we should just try and focus to next season. And overall, I think this season was not a good season. The only positives we can get from this season is Abdul Ganiu, Fabio Gama, Kwame Puku, and some other players that performance. A lot of players disappointed Kotoko and this season. A lot of players, and some of them might be leaving at the end of the season. So I feel that this season was a disappointment. I would like to know your thoughts. What do you think about the overall season? Do you think that there are some positives at all to get from this season? And how are you feeling towards next season? Do you think some players should leave, or do you think some players should stay? I would like to know your thoughts. Put that in the comment section and tell me what you think. I think that's all for today. If you haven't subscribed, do that right now and hit the notification bell. Till next time, guys. Goodbye.